In this video we are going to talk about top 6 behaviors that destroy relationships. So before starting this video, please like this video and subscribe to this channel for our future updates. Number 6. Having angry reactions to feedback instead of being open to it. A close friendship requires open communication. When we form a fantasy link, on the other hand, we tend to block ourselves off to real communication, or a kind and sympathetic means of exchanging feelings and ideas. Instead, we tend to be defensive and have angry or threatening overreactions to our partner's comments, which effectively shuts them off. We're telling our spouse that we don't want to hear what they have to say when we emotionally break down, give them the quiet treatment, or scream at them. By speaking things we know will sting our partner the most, we can create even more emotional distance. To break this cycle, instead of focusing on the defects in our partner's comments, attempt to find a kernel of truth in what they say. "I feel horrible when you just watch TV all night," he or she could say. "You appear to be preoccupied." Consider whether portions of "I feel ignored" and "as if you aren't interested in me" resonate with you rather than wasting time on stuff that doesn't. You may feel compelled to retort, "Don't be so silly and dramatic. I'm just exhausted." There may be some truth to that, but you may take a step back and ask yourself, "I've been fatigued recently, but is there more to me than that? Have I been so preoccupied that I've forgotten about my relationship?" "I'm sorry you're upset," you'd say with sensitivity. "Work has been distracting me lately, and I've been sleepy when I get home. Even though I didn't try to offend you, I can see how my tuning out hurts you." We can make it a mission to hear everything at any time. This does not imply that we must agree with what others have to say. We may, however, endeavor to be open and get feedback from those we care about and trust, so that they feel comfortable talking to us about the more challenging topics. Number 5. Being closed to new experiences instead of open to new things. It's critical to keep our sense of self as a unique individual in every connection. When we get involved with someone new, it should broaden rather than narrow our horizons. We are more receptive to new experiences when we first fall in love. When we begin to form a fantasy attachment, though, we tend to accept roles and routines that constrain us and keep us from doing new things. Our responses may become more stiff and habitual. "You know how much I dislike that place," or "every Saturday night, we go to the movies." When we stop being flexible and receptive to establishing new mutual interests, it actually harms the relationship. It has the potential to create genuine bitterness between spouses. While no one should be forced to do things they don't want to do, locking down the part of ourselves that seeks out new experiences and responds to a spark in our partner can sap our vitality and spontaneity. We should always be willing to try new things that broaden our horizons and avoid limiting our own or our partner's experiences. Try some activities that you both enjoy to see if they may be added to your repertoire of things to do together and share in a fun way. This does not imply that you must share all of your interests or fulfill all of each other's requirements. In fact, maintaining your independence and personality is critical. We don't need a single person to be happy, but we do need to do things together. A relationship does not exist in a vacuum. Keeping it alive requires being open to new experiences. Number 4. Using deception and duplicity instead of honesty and integrity. Most of us have learned the hard way that when our words and deeds don't match, we may drive each other insane. Deception and duplicity are unfortunately widespread in partnerships. People say one thing and do another, resulting in a lot of confused messages. Here are several examples: acting as if you don't have time to spend with your sweetheart while saying "I really adore you." "I want to be close to you," but then criticizing your partner whenever he or she is present. "I'm not interested in other people," she says, but she flirts with everyone else at the pub. Acts that contradict these phrases do not appear to be acts of love. They convey a fantasy of being close but not actually being close, essentially prioritizing appearance over substance. Double messages like this muddle another person's reality, which is a basic human rights infringement, not to mention a major threat to long-term, meaningful partnerships. Honesty in a relationship might be difficult because it doesn't entail speaking everything critical that comes to mind to our partner. We must be aware of our true goals as well as our true truth. This necessitates self-awareness. Am I being honest? We must ask ourselves on a regular basis. What drives me to do what I do? Are my words and actions in sync? If we claim to truly love someone, we should conduct actions that would appear to an outside observer to be loving. We can build genuine connection when our behaviors are honest. Number 3. overstepping boundaries instead of showing respect for them. Couples that create a fantasy bond tend to push one another's boundaries and form a merged identity. Instead of seeing themselves as you and me, they begin to regard themselves as a we. We enjoy going there. We're not going to that party. That's the kind of meal we prefer. Many of us inadvertently lose sight of where we left off and where our partner starts. We may be invasive or domineering toward our spouse without even realizing it, acting in a way that is disrespectful or insulting to the other person's sense of self. This not only affects our partner's sentiments for us, but it also undermines our own strength and feelings for our relationship. Many couples begin to blame their partner for their pleasure, leading to demands, complaints, and a sense of powerlessness. To be a caring spouse while maintaining your own feelings of attraction and interest, you should pay attention to what makes your partner happy and what matters to him or her. You should regard your partner as a whole and distinct individual who is important to you, independent of your own needs and desires. You may both motivate one another to pursue activities that truly reflect who you are as individuals. You can recognize one another for who you really are and encourage each other's unique objectives and strengths, whether you're learning a language, climbing a mountain, or writing a book. We actually attract another person closer to us when we give them this space, care, and respect. Number 2. Being manipulative, dominant, or submissive. Couples can easily play games and be indirect about their wants and requirements due to people's defenses and desire to protect themselves. They may use manipulative tactics to achieve what they want, such as sobbing and crumbling in front of others or exploding up and scaring others. They may take on duties in their relationship that hurt or constrain them. Couples, for example, frequently polarize themselves, with one partner being dominant and controlling while the other remains docile and subservient. This can manifest itself in a variety of ways depending on the relationship. One partner may be the boss of the finances, while the other may be in charge of their sexuality. They may be drawn to certain roles out of familiarity or a need to feel safe, but this compromises their capacity to interact as two equals. Number 1. Misunderstanding instead of understanding. We tend to see our mates for who we need them to be rather than who they are in a fantasy relationship. By idealizing or putting someone on a pedestal, we can deform them. We can take them apart and degrade them by putting negative characteristics onto them. Because we grew up with people who have these characteristics, we may perceive them to be more critical, invasive, or rejecting than they are. When we disregard the boundary between ourselves and our partner, we are more prone to consider them as an extension of ourselves, mistreating or criticizing them in the same manner we mistreat or criticize ourselves. In an ideal relationship, we recognize our partner for who they are, both their strengths and flaws, and accept them as they are. We don't allow ourselves to become a negative caricature of them, which means we don't dwell on their defects or engage in critical thinking. It does not, however, imply that you should project a grandiose image of them. No one can truly feel loved until they believe they are being seen objectively. When a partner builds us up or breaks us down, we can feel unsettled, as if we aren't truly loved for who we are. This is why it's crucial not to misrepresent the other person. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.